Hello guys, Oroth here and a warm welcome back to my channel. There are huge updates for my wizard build. We have made some minor changes that makes the damage go totally crazy. I will probably say that this is the strongest dungeon build I've ever played because we're also so extremely mobile and I have no problem beating anyone in dungeons because I get to the monsters fast, I deal tons of damage. And yeah, not even Tempest or Crusader have a single chance against me. So let us take a look at the updates I've done for this build that has only been possible after the recent patch. So first of all, the skills I'm using are the same as before. I use Electrocute, Slow Time, Teleport, Lightning Nova and Arcane Wind. And the changes we're going to see here in the set pieces actually. So if I go to the armory here, we can see that I use 2 pieces of Vitus Urge. This is to prolong beneficial effect durations from my legendary gems and also to prolong slow time. I use 2 pieces of Gloomskide's Prize because this will increase my damage a little bit. I use 2 pieces of the Baron set because this will prolong lingering wounds from our familiar, which is super important in a boss fight. But on top of that, I also use 2 pieces of the new set, Skybreaker's Bolt, because this will apply shock to enemies, and I deal a lot of lightning damage with this build, especially from the Lightning Nova, and yeah, this set makes the damage go totally crazy. But of course, let us also take a look at the essences here. I use the Terminus Facade in the helmet slot, a Cursed Rival in the shoulder slot, Coat of the Astrum in the chest slot, Mistral Rend in the first main hand slot. I use Trifling Piffle in the first offhand slot, Fiery Revenge in the pants slot, Radiant Splines in the second main hand slot, and Blood of the Wind in the second offhand slot. So let us take a look quick at what these essences does. Whenever I use slow time, I can spam skills a lot because whenever I use another skill, it will reduce the cooldown of other skills. So it's super good, and you can also see that I have top movement speed all the time, and this is also thanks to this helmet. And the chest piece allows me to shoot these lightning novas. You can see these arcs flying around me, and these deal a lot of damage, and more importantly it's also lightning damage, so I will deal tons of damage thanks to the new set. If we look on the shoulder slot, whenever I use teleport, I gain 20% increased skill damage. So this is also an excellent way to increase my damage even further. And in the pants slot, it makes my teleport cause burn. So whenever I land on a target like this, they will start to burn, and I also deal a lot of instant damage. And what's also good about this is that whenever I land on a target that is burning, which is of course always with this essence, I will also reduce the remaining cooldown of teleport, which means that I can keep spamming skills even more, because that means I can use more teleports, which will in turn lead to more lightning novas and arcane winds. In the first mainland slot, I use the thing that makes my arcane wind shoot these. You can see here these orbs that I shoot out from me, and when I hit an enemy, they will also bounce around, hitting a lot of targets. So it's also like an AoE damage effect. And what's also good about it is that it will apply loss of control, which will in turn activate a lot of my affixes that increases the damage done to enemies suffering loss of control. And I have this on both my main hands, both my off hands. I have it on my gloves. I also have it on my reforges, and this becomes a huge damage buff. Thanks to the new set, I can also use the first offhand Trifling Piffle, and that means that whenever Lightning Nova hits a shocked enemy, it will unleash another Lightning Nova. And this can happen every 4.5 seconds, so this is just a nice little extra burst. And in the second main hand slot, I also use something that makes the Lightning Nova deal an AoE attack whenever a critical hit. So this allows me to melt these packs of mobs in dungeons super fast, and this effect can happen once every second, so they will explode all the time whenever a critical hit on a target. And finally, I also use in the second offhand an essence that makes my arcane wind deal more damage when it causes firestorm. And thanks to Roiling Consequence, I will apply a lot of burn effects, and also thanks to the teleport, so I will constantly deal this extra damage with the second offhand thanks to all of the burn effects. Of course, we also have to take a look at the legendary gems I'm using, but before doing so, look at this beauty. I really love this skin. Hopefully we will get a glove as well, but I would say that this is the most badass looking skill in the game. I wanted something more dark themed, and now I feel like an angel of death when I run around with this build. And yeah, I mean, I'm totally blown away. This is 100% the best skin so far in Diablo Immortal. But I'm gonna show you my legendary gems now, and here there are of course many different options that you can use. I have quite high rank on my gems, but that is not necessary to perform well with this build. But let us look at what I have. I have a Blood-Soaked Jade for damage, Roiling Consequence for critical hit chance, Bottled Hope for cooldown reduction and damage. I have Blood Flow for both critical hit damage and extra damage. It's a super strong gem, I really like it. I recently released my spreadsheet on a previous video where I also analyzed this gem, so I really recommend you to watch that one, because there I make the conclusion that this gem is super strong even at low ranks. I use Fervent Fang for extra damage. Colossus Engine is probably the most epic gem for this build, because all of the damage we deal will be skill damage. This also increases our range and our size, so we move even faster. This is probably my favorite gem in the game. I even like it more than Roiling Consequence, even if Roiling Consequence of course is a little bit stronger, but the secondary effect of the size and the range is so cool on the Colossus Engine. I really love it. And if we look here on the Spectre Glass, an excellent gem as well. It will also increase the damage output and some critical hit chance. And also we have Morn Skull for more and more damage. So you can see the common theme here. We want to use damage gems, and if you don't have all of these gems, that's fine. You can also use the Surging Sea, the new 1-star gem. You can use Entropic Well, which will also increase your skill damage. There are a lot of great options that you can use, both 1-stars and 2-stars, and they don't have to be at max rank of course, so feel free to experiment and you will deal a lot of damage no matter what. So if you see me running around here, we can just test the mobility first. Now I can run super fast, but in a dungeon I can run even faster, because whenever I land on an enemy with the teleport, I will reduce the cooldown further on the teleport. So you will see me do some test runs soon where I can run around like crazy, and you will also see that the damage output is crazy. Let us also go to the training dummy here and try it out to see how it works, and I think you're gonna love it. And of course, now I'm using the Lightning Nova here that deals a lot of damage in a huge area, which is great for dungeons. There are other versions that's also super good for single target damage. For example, if I go here and I change this chest piece, I could instead perhaps use the Isolated Storm. But I think that the Coat of the Astrum that I'm using right now works a lot better for dungeons. So let us of course try this damage out now at the dummy before we head into some dungeons, and I'm sure you're gonna love it. And yeah, of course I have to show you the Paragon as well. I use the Harbinger here. This will give me a lot of extra damage, and it also gives me critical hit chance, and this will not stack with 4 pieces of Gloomskide's price, so that's why I'm not using 4 pieces. I only use 2 pieces. And now if I start attacking the dummy here, you can see that the damage output will be totally bonkers. So I'm super happy with this build. I've never felt this strong in dungeons before, and then you know that I've played a lot of Crusader. So we can see here I deal almost 400 million damage in 10 seconds, and this is with a dungeon build. So the damage is out of this world, and now let us of course jump into some dungeons and have some fun. So here we are in Destruction's End, and I think this dungeon is very good to showcase the power of this build, because it will highlight both our mobility and our stellar damage output. And what you want to do is that you want to activate slow time, and then you want to spam your skill as fast as possible. The only thing you have to think about is to conserve your Harbinger. So when all of the enemies are almost dead, be careful to not use the dash. In this moment, for example, I have to time it right so I don't burn my Harbinger, because it will refresh whenever I kill an enemy. And if I'm not able to kill an enemy because there are no enemies, then I will not have a Harbinger buff for another 30 seconds. What's also good to mention is that a lot of people, they are struggling a little bit when they are playing spam builds, because their wrist starts to hurt after some time. But here I have to tell you that you have to relax your hand. You only have to use your thumb if you're playing on the phone, for example, and you try to relax your wrist. You don't have to push hard, you just have to touch it very smoothly. So imagine that you are together with someone that means a lot to you and you want to make them happy and you want to cuddle a little bit, then you're not too rough. You take it a little bit easy, and that's the way you're going to treat your phone when you're playing this build. And that will also allow your wrists to stay strong, and you can keep doing what you're doing for hours, and that will make any person that you care about happy, of course. But as we can see here, we are so fast from target A to B, so that in most situations we will almost kill everything before anyone reaches the enemies. And that's why this build is so strong. And not only does it reach the enemy super fast so that we can clear the dungeon super fast and make more dungeon runs, the damage output, like we could see on the dummy, is also crazy. And that's thanks to the new set. It's a very, very strong set if you use the correct build, and this is the correct build to use this set. And I think that I probably increased the damage output by around 25-30% compared to the old version. So yeah, I hope that you really like this build. Until next time, I want to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening wherever you are. And to all my clan members in Nyx, I would of course also like to say Voruk Nyx, Sholak Sol. So bye bye!